also, if we really want to, we can, because it's many of us, many. But if we don't do it, then okay, people will read about us much in the way they read about ancient Greek and everything else, or mostly about ancient Minoan, of which like 15 graffiti remains and nobody's really sure what they mean. And they say they were probably interesting people. That's all that will remain. It took like 2,000 years to make our culture. It's going to take probably like 150 to wipe it out, if we don't want to save it. But it's our choice. And it cannot be anybody else from any other place doing the job for us. It's us. I'm teaching my child to speak my language. Each day, I'm sitting with her, I'm speaking. She's born in a place in which nobody else speaks it. But she's speaking that language with me at 2 years. So that's something you do, but you do that as a parent. You do that by teaching your child that this is your history. It doesn't mean that you're racially superior or inferior or whatever. This is simply you. This is the food you're eating, because I can teach you how to prepare this food in this language because I don't know to do it in another. I mean, I don't know how the tools to cook are called in another language. That's the thing that always was telling me that I was not an Italian, because I would walk in an Italian kitchen and I wouldn't be able to ask a frying pan in a way that they would understand. And because I knew everything that was public, because that's the public part, and I would know. But I never had been in the house of an Italian family, so I never heard how they cooked that stuff. And since nobody was asking me to cook, and they obviously didn't know how to call it in Italian, I simply was missing an entire domain. So I was going in the kitchen and say, can I have that? Okay? And that's the way I grew up, amputated. And that's an entire generation like this. Entire generation that grew up with all the bad intention and good intentions together, because there are bad intentions at some high political level, but for most of the real life it's good intention of parents who only want the best for their children. And there is no conspiracy behind it. It's simply the fact that you either understand that this is something you have and you can pass through to the next generation because it's worth doing. It's like the family house. You have this house, you have this piece of land, you can pass it to your child, and it doesn't mean that everything else is rubbish. They can speak English, they can speak German, they can speak Japanese too. Why not? My child is learning 4 languages since the start of their life. It's not forbidden anywhere. We simply have this old mentality that is pretty much the 1900 and the 1800 in Europe, that is nation equals language. I built a nation, so I have to have one language for them all, but that's all, and it's finished. So you can simply step over it, and it's possible.
Thank you. Okay. After the break, we will have a Sergio for this Russian translation, and Puto and your part, so collaborative translation.